Tonight, 2024 was full of highs and lows for the College of New Caledonia. Plus, eligible people will get some help with their holiday bills with benefits and credits arriving in the new year. And new cellular towers have been activated on the Highway of Tears to boost 911 access. Good evening and welcome to CKPG News. I'm Adam Burles. The North District Major Crime Unit is investigating the suspicious death of a man who was found on the outskirts of McKenzie, north of Prince George. Police say officers from the McKenzie detachment were called to reports of a man who was lying on the edge of a road at around 10 a.m. on Saturday. Frontline officers attended to the Finlay Community Connector Forest Service Road near the Litnett Creek Bridge and located the male deceased. The North District Major Crime Unit has not released any details about the person who was found dead. They're asking witnesses or people who are in the area of the Finlay Community Connector Forest Service Road between 9 p.m. on Friday and 10 a.m. on Saturday to contact the McKenzie RCMP at 250-997-3288. 2024 was a difficult year for the College of New Caledonia as the federal government announced a cap on foreign student intake, and that has certainly painted a bleak future for the college. However, it certainly wasn't all bad, as CNC says 2024 also saw a lot of positive developments and optimism remains for the years to come. Tommy Osborne has more on the college's year in review.
There will be layoffs coming across all employee groups.
Unfortunate news for the future of the College of New Caledonia, as the federal government's international student cap will cause a big hit to the college's revenue.
Our goal is to maintain as many positions as we can, yet ensuring we have the resources we need to offer high-quality programming.
30% of the college's students are international, and while the current students will be able to finish their programs as intended, 2025 and beyond will see a chunk of the student population removed.
We have to look at how we do our business and maybe make some changes. Maybe look at, the domestic recruitment, look at creating programs and opportunities to draw more students from our regions, from our areas, from our country to attend CNC.
One positive to come out of 2024 is CNC's TechX program, which Heitman believes will go a long way towards improving those domestic numbers.
We offered a program for high school age students to attend the college and the university, receiving both high school credits and post-secondary credits at a substantial amount. Hugely successful. We've created a framework and a model that we know works.
Heitman added CNC has put a large focus on engaging with Indigenous communities in the area too, with the launch of the program Kanazelkat being a landmark moment of 2024.
That plan has created a roadmap for us to not only indigenize our curriculum, but to decolonize our college to ensure that we're meeting the needs of Indigenous students.
2024 also saw CNC alumni thrive across the country, something Heitman hopes will continue to make CNC a more popular choice for future students.
We had a student in a foundations trades program, so that's the very beginning, participate in a national program, came in fourth, and that's rather unheard of. We had another student who received a $50,000 grant as a result of their outstanding work.
While there's no doubt it'll be a challenging road ahead, with expected program cuts and layoffs on the way, Heitman is hopeful CNC will have more to look forward to in 2025 and mitigate international student losses with more domestic enrollment. Tommy Osborne, CKPG News.
Rogers has turned on 5 new cellular towers along the Highway of Tears. These new towers are set up to provide 911 access to anyone along the route. It will also provide additional 5G wireless coverage for its customers. Rogers says 9 out of 11 towers are now complete, which now delivers 166 kilometers of 5G cell coverage along the route. The new service will establish a safer environment for travel and fulfill one of the recommendations in the 2006 Highway of Tears Symposium report to enhance safety for Indigenous women and girls. It was an eventful year for Canada's federal government, to say the least, particularly near the end of the year. But there are still a couple of highlights, primarily to do with healthcare. And there are some predictions for what 2025 will hold for Ottawa.
For one Northern BC MP, 2024 held much promise for some moves on the healthcare for Canadians, both pharmacare and dental care.
It's been an historic minority parliament. We've gotten a lot of work done for people. If you look at those programs, they represent the biggest expansion of public health care in a generation.
And I meet so many people that have major health problems and they can't afford to go to the dentist. It's as simple as that. And it's not just, the health effect that it has. It also affects people's confidence. It affects their ability to get work and to function in society. And so, making this clear statement that dental care is part of healthcare, it's the largest expansion of public health care in well over a generation.
Another health-related move by the NDP this year is pharmacare, but it is a work in progress.
Pharmacare legislation passed through the House, but there's no deals yet with the provinces. British Columbia is hopefully going to be the first province to sign a pharmacare deal with the feds. And as early as this spring, people could be getting free diabetes medication, free hormone replacement therapy. Those are potentially life changers for people who struggle to afford the cost of prescription drugs.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Once again, the Conservative...
Again, ask honourable members not to take the floor.
But a downside for Taylor Bachrach to the past year, and one that may be the result of outside influence, is the behaviour within the House of Commons.
I've got to say the low light for me has been the real decline in any sense of decorum in the House of Commons, and the rise of this kind of, I heard someone call it middle finger politics, right? It's a kind of politics where whoever can be the loudest and the brashest and insult their opponents the loudest gain some kind of partisan advantage. And I think that's a real discredit. It might serve short-term partisan interests, but I think in the long term, it's a real discredit to our country and leads us down a path that we don't want to go.
As for the coming year, events in Ottawa at the tail end of 2024 caused a stir within the Liberal ranks and within the House of Commons, making Bachrach wonder about events unfolding early in the new year.
I imagine that an election would follow quite closely on the heels of that. So, we're definitely looking at election before too long. I know a lot of folks out there want one. And, at the same time, as long as this Parliament stands, we're going to be fighting for Canadians and trying to get things done.
In the meantime, he issues a healthy and happy holiday season to those folks in his riding, as well as all over the region. Cheryl Jan, CKPG News.
A woman who was among dozens of people evacuated from a burning apartment building on Christmas Day has died. She suffered a fall after she escaped, but at the closest emergency room in Prince Rupert was closed. So as Julia Foy reports, she was forced to travel 90 minutes, delaying potentially life-saving care.
71-year-old Juanita Hill had a life filled with family, 4 children, 6 grandchildren, and 8 great-grandchildren. But her health has been fragile in recent months.
Her condition was declining, and she was having problems just walking and doing the things that she used to do before and stuff, and getting tiring very quickly.
Early Christmas morning, her apartment building in Prince Rupert was on fire, and Juanita, who uses a wheelchair, had to be rescued from her 3rd-floor suite.
You know what, RCMP, they stepped right up and stuff like that, and one of the officers picked her right up and just carried her downstairs.
But on December 27th, Juanita fell in the hotel room. She needed medical assistance, and the ER at Prince Rupert Hospital was closed from 2 to midnight.
She hit her head and stuff like that, but the emergency services in Prince Rupert wasn't available because the emergency ward was closed till about midnight or so. So they transported her to the Terrace Hospital.
So Hill and his son Gabriel made the 2-hour drive to Terrace.
Apparently, they had noted and stuff like that her condition with her lung inflammation wasn't doing that well.
Attempts to put her on a ventilator were deemed too risky. She was sedated when her family arrived.
All we could do really was tell her we loved her and stuff like that, and said prayers for her. She finally succumbed to her illnesses and stuff at 1:32 in the morning.
Global News reached out to the BC Ministry of Health. A statement reads, "We extend our deepest condolences to the family and friends of this individual during this difficult time. A GoFundMe page has been set up to assist the Hill family."
We're dealing with it as best as we can and stuff, and I know that she'd want us, to be the best people we possibly could be. And then we're trying and we're coping.
It was a busy year at the Prince George Airport, and there are a number of things to look forward to in the coming year. But there will be one notable omission in 2025, and that will be the absence of its president and CEO, as Gordon Duke is retiring.
Airline upheaval, partnerships, those are some of the milestones for the Prince George Airport Authority as the year winds down. And this was one of the highlights.
And make sure that everybody going in and out of this airport understands that they're in the welcoming territory of the Lheidli T'enneh.
The steps we've taken with the Indigenous Heritage Project that we're doing and the visible changes that we're making at the airport, as well as some steps towards the economic reconciliation in terms of what we're, when we go out to RFP for projects and the like, we would always include the Lheidli, and also for job opportunities.
Another highlight, another new flight, this time between Prince George and Kelowna.
Overnighting the airplane here helps with on-time performance the next day, and certainly the direct routing is really desirable. We're seeing that growth continue, that slow move back to where we were pre-COVID, which is gratifying. I know that when I look across the country, there's a number of other airports that aren't as lucky as we are, and I think that's a reflection of the folks here in Prince George using the services that are there, because airlines operate on a use it or lose it preposition, and we want to keep the service we have.
And it will be the last year for its CEO, Gordon Duke, after 5 years in the pilot seat for YXS.
So I really do hope that whoever's next in that office continues that good work. And I'm sure that's going to be a focus as part of that executive search, that they find someone who really what you need with a small team like this is a good fit.
And so for 2025, the sky's the limit for the airport. Cheryl Jan, CKPG News.
The BC government announced cost of living supports to help with holiday expenses. Tommy Osborne has more on how much you can expect to receive and the conditions around it.
BC's Minister of Finance, Brenda Bailey, announced tax credits are on the way for many to help offset holiday bills. The first is the Climate Action Tax Credit, which Bailey says around 65% of families and individuals will receive. If eligible, this money will be deposited straight into your bank account, with an individual receiving an estimated $440, $680 for single-parent families, and $613 for multi-parent families. Later in January, more than 340,000 families with lower or middle incomes will receive the BC Family Benefit Payment, now with a temporary cost of living bonus. This 25% increase means an average of $445 more a year for families, with a family of four being able to receive as much as $3,563 a year. This family benefit is deposited at around the 20th of each month. Finally, Bailey also said the province has a new tax credit for renters, returning as much as $400 a year to 75% of people who rent in the province. Tommy Osborne, CKPG News.
Tomorrow is the final day of 2025, and if you're looking for a party this New Year's Eve, well, stay tuned. Sam Bennison has more.
2025 is almost upon us, but first let's celebrate the year behind us. If you're hoping to party on New Year's Eve, there are plenty of places to go. For example, Trench Brewing and Distilling are hosting a karaoke New Year's Eve party.
This New Year's Eve, we are hosting karaoke. It's hosted by the talented Andy Haywood. It's going to begin at 8 p.m. and run until 1 a.m., but we'll be open all day for food, for off sales, for dining in from 11:30 onward.
While they won't be posting a cover charge, they're still expecting a quieter turnout this year.
We're definitely expecting a quieter night as far as New Year's Eves go, because it is on a Tuesday. So if you're looking for a more low-key evening or a quieter evening to just sit down and relax with some drinks and some friends, this is definitely a good place to do it.
If you don't like singing but want to still hear some tunes, be sure to check out Omanika Arts Center, as local band Brainium will be hosting their very first headline show. The group began in 2024 and have since been performing across the province.
We've got a couple new songs we're really excited to be playing. We've been working really hard the last couple months on that. Yeah, it's going to be a really great time. We're really excited about those. No one's heard them before.
Tickets are $20 at the door, with the doors opening at 7:30. In addition to Brainium, 3 more local bands will take to the stage.
Exam of the Boar, Masters of the Boogie. We've got Infectious. They're a zombie rock band. They play rock, punk, heavy metal. Rabbit Soup as well. It's going to be a really eclectic mix of all different styles, from classic banjo folk stuff to rock and heavy metal, and it's going to be really quite the mix. So yeah, we're super excited.
And these aren't the only events happening on New Year's Eve, as Tourism Prince George have a ton posted to its website. For example, there is a noon party at the Exploration Place and climbing at the Overhang. So be sure to visit tourismpg.com and click on the What's On tab to find your perfect party. Sam Benison, CKPG News.
The lowest gas price in Prince George is $1.42.9 per litre at Costco. This also happens to be the lowest price in the province right now. Manitoba currently has the lowest gas prices in the country, on average at $1.28.7 per litre. Meanwhile, BC has an average price of $1.63.7 per litre.
CKPG Sports is delivered by Domino's. Feed your team tonight with a delicious mix and match combo. Chicken, pizza, pasta, or dessert for just $8.99 per item.
After a short Christmas break, the Prince George Cougars kicked off the second half of their season this past weekend in Victoria. Jane DeMello has more.
Coming into their doubleheader against the Royals, the Cats won 3 of their last 4 on the road before their 10-day break.
That was an awesome way to kind of end off until the first half. And, you know, from my point of view, it just seems like we're going up. You know, we're learning so much as a group. And we kind of battled through, you know, first half. There's a lot of adversity and stuff like that. And just the way we ended that road trip, it's just, to me, that means, you know, we're going up as a team and we're going to keep on building.
And they sure didn't take long to build off their recent success early on Friday.
Fairhoff down the pass, and the Cougars take it away. Heights all over Parasek. Heights scores! Riley Height through the legs of Kraus, and the Cougars strike first.
Height's 15th of the season opened the scoring as the Cougars would bring a 1-0 lead to the break, but it didn't last long into the second.
Nice feed within the legs of Moore. Here's another chance. That's blocked. Fryer gets it again. He shoots and scores!
Friar's first of the season knotted it up, and the tie would push the game all the way to a shootout.
Up the left wing he comes as the boos rain down on Zemer. And on Kraus he comes. Zemer, oh, what a goal! Are you kidding me? Zemer sneaks it with one hand through the legs of Kraus. Cougars strike first in the shootout. What a goal from Cohen Zemer.
Zemer fooled Kraus with a silky 5-hole finish to clinch the 2-1 victory over the Royals.
That was obviously a big one to start the second half here. Just to be able to build off that coming up here. In the next couple of weeks, I think, we just got to push ourselves to be as good as we can here.
On Saturday, it was the Royals breaking the scoreless tie in the first, and after being outshot by 15 in the opening frame, the Cats piled it right back on the home side in period 2.
Here comes Lang. He has a breakaway. Lang to the goal. He shoots. Where is it? It's loose. The goal line is on. It's in. They score. Hunter Lang ties the game at 1. Now Carlos jumps on it. He goes to Foster. He'll power in up the right wing. Aiden Foster holds, waits, shoots, scores. Aiden Foster in his 100th game with the laser beam. Cougars have their first lead of the night.
Foster's tally on his milestone night proved as the difference, with the Cougars sweeping the weekend series with another 2-1 win, thanks to 37 saves from the WHL's goaltender of the week, Josh Ravensbergen. Jaden Amello, CKPG News.
The TSX is down 176 points to close at 24,620. The Dow Jones is down 418 points to close at 42,573. And CN Rail went down $2.26 to close at $144.76.
Chance of flurries is increasing this evening in the Prince George area, turning to more likely periods of snowfall expected throughout several areas. That cloud cover is expected to linger throughout the overnight period and into tomorrow as well. So New Year's Eve, it's looking relatively cloudy ahead. After that, though, New Year's Day, expecting some clearing. So speaking of, here's our futurecast. Next 48 hours, a few lingering pockets of precipitation still hanging around, and that's where that chance of flurries, periods of snowfall is coming from. But after that, as you get into Wednesday, as you can see there, it really starts to clear out a little bit more. So New Year's Day on Wednesday is still looking to be relatively sunny, relatively clear, although a little bit cooler. Temperatures are going to continue dropping as the week gets on. Highs tomorrow across BC, though. Terrace looking at a high of +1. Fort St. John's already seeing some of that cooling effect taking shape there. So -17 for the high tomorrow for Fort St. John. Prince George looking at a high of -8. Again, seeing some of that cooling trend kicking in. Kamloops, Southern Interior at around +1. Okanagan, very similar. Over on Vancouver Island, though, Victoria is still relatively warm and still relatively wet, actually, for tomorrow. Across the rest of the broadcast region tomorrow, McKenzie seeing some cooling, a mix of sun and cloud thrown in there as well. McKenzie with a high of -13 tomorrow. Fort St. James at -9. Vanderhoof and Burns Lake, though, still have that chance of flurries lingering. Similarly, Quesnel and McBride also has that chance of flurries for tomorrow. Across the rest of the country tomorrow, Yellowknife really cooling off. A high of -19 for tomorrow, paired with some snowfall is the expectation. Edmonton also cooling off and clouding over a little bit more. Regina at -15, expecting some snowfall. As you get into the Toronto, Montreal areas, it is starting to warm up on eastern Canada, actually. Even Halifax looking at some sunshine tomorrow and a high of +7. So yes, some sunshine is the expectation as we get into the mid part of the week. So Wednesday is expected to be relatively sunny for a lot of areas and a little bit clearer after kind of a cloudy chance of flurries forecast the last couple of days. Here's our extended forecast, though. Before that, Burns Lake area looking at a little bit of snowfall overnight tonight and into tomorrow as well. Tomorrow's high -6. The temperature is really cooling off as the week gets on. So New Year's Day, Wednesday is looking relatively sunny, though. A high of -13, followed up Thursday with a high of -16. McKenzie area. Tomorrow is looking at a mix of sun and cloud, a high of -13. Those overnight lows, really starting to notice those. New Year's Day in McKenzie area looking mainly sunny but relatively cold at a high of -15. McBride area still looking at a few centimeters of snowfall overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning and actually tomorrow afternoon as well. A high of -3, followed up after New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, look at that on Wednesday, a high of -9. So seeing a little bit chillier temperatures but some more sunshine in the forecast. Quesnel area also looking at some snowfall overnight tonight. A good chance of flurries tomorrow as well, paired with some cloud cover, a high of -3. After that, though, New Year's Day, again, as we've been saying, a little bit more sunshine rather, a little bit more sunshine New Year's Day, paired with a high of -9. Prince George area tonight still has that chance of flurries. That will continue into Tuesday as well. Mix of sun and cloud throughout the day. Wednesday looks very similar. So again, New Year's Day seeing some cooler daytime temperatures, a high of -15, but we should be getting some more sunshine for the Prince George area to ring in the new year.
CKPG Sports is delivered by Domino's. Feed your team tonight with a delicious mix and match combo. Chicken, pizza, pasta, or dessert for just $8.99 per item.
Hockey returned to Prince George this weekend with the Spruce Kings kicking off their post-Christmas schedule against the Nanaimo Clippers. Jane DeMello brings us the details.
With only 2 points separating the Clippers and Spruce Kings entering the second half of the season, this weekend was imperative for Prince George, and they knew it.
The left wing side, now we're set up top. Here's a quick shot, tip, losing the side, they score! Brock Cummings and the Spruce Kings have a 1-0 lead. Moore, Ballantyne following up, right past edge, they score! Carter Hesselgrave and the Spruce Kings lead 2-0.
The hot start put the home team up 2 at Copar after the first frame, but the Clippers didn't roll over.
Lonsdale cuts around to the left, his shot, and he scores. Cole Lonsdale, it's 3-2 as the Clippers get back within 1. There's a play back door shot, they score. Dylan Kinch again, this one's tied at 3.
Back-to-back goals in the middle period tied it up before Hesselgrave was looking to put them back on top.
Williams has it over the line. Williams passes through. Walked all in. Oh, what a stop. Rebound. Hesselgrave scores!
The Quesnel natives' first multi-goal game in the BCHL once again gave them the advantage, and after the teams traded blows, the Kings were up 1 with less than a minute left in regulation.
Over to Kinch, chipped away by Perchich, comes up, now hits the player. They scored off of Lavery's face and in the net. This one is tied.
The lucky bounce squeaked through Ryder Green's 5-hole and forced overtime.
Brock Cummings still has it. Now as he'll circle back, he leaves it, and it's taken away by Lonsdale. Lonsdale driving wide. Lonsdale in, shot, they score. Hat trick, Lonsdale. And the Spruce Kings drop this one 6-5 in overtime.
Cummings' turnover proved crucial as the Clippers came back to take the first game of the doubleheader. But the Mississauga native made sure to be the difference maker on the right side in Game 2.
Now it's over to Schrott. Schrott, down low Cummings. Cummings, cross ice, they score! Brogan McNeil on the back door. The Spruce Kings this time lead 1-0. And over to Schrott. Schrott, back door, they score! Brock Cummings with the deflection in front. He pokes it over the line, and it's 2-0 Spruce Kings.
Cummings' goal and assist led the Kings to a 4-1 win to wrap up their final game before the new year, as new acquisition Dylan Johnson impressed in his debut, stopping 27 of 28 shots. Jaden Nemello, CKPG News.
The Caribou Cougars continued their quest for a second Circle K title today in Calgary. Yesterday, the U18 AAA squad had their tournament lives on the line against the Okotoks Beaumark Oilers. The Oilers jumped out to a 2-0 first period lead, but the Cougars clawed it back in the second, and after a scoreless third, the game needed overtime, where Prince George native Lucas Woodbeck sniped the winner halfway through OT to send the Caribou Cougars to the knockout stages. Today, they played an undefeated Shattuck St. Mary's side, but couldn't come out on top, losing to St. Mary's 7-1. Well, it's dealer's choice at the PG Animal Rescue with 3 different dogs available for adoption. Sam Benison has more.
The Prince George Animal Rescue is hoping to find 3 dogs new homes in 2025, each with their own fun personality. First up is the eldest of the bunch, Arnie, a 6-year-old dog who was surrendered to the animal rescue when his previous caretaker ran into some health issues.
He's a lot of dog. He's got lots of presents. But very loyal, extremely loyal. He does not, he's not a dog that will take off or anything like that. He loves to be with his people. He's great with other dogs, and he's been good with the cats. He doesn't really have a lot of exposure to cats, so he was a little afraid of them at first.
Next up is Emma. Emma is a 1.5-year-old working dog from Burns Lake, and it's important that she receives gainful employment in the new year.
She's a herding animal, so she wants to work all the time. If you don't work these kind of dogs, they will develop different issues, different personality issues. They'll get neurotic, or they might start chewing at their feet, or chewing the walls, or digging giant holes, or getting aggressive towards other dogs if they don't have that outlet to work.
However, when Emma has that opportunity to work away the pent-up energy, she is a happy, smiley dog. Finally, there is Eva.
Eva, she is just a big, dumb puppy.
The youngest of the bunch, Eva is a 6-month-old puppy hailing from Prince Rupert.
She's very bold. She'll do well anywhere, really. She's a great pup.
If you want to adopt Arnie, Emma, or Eva, contact the PG Animal Rescue online or via their phone. Sam Benison, CKPG News.
All right, that's all the time we have tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. Tonight, your last look, in keeping with the animal theme, is a squirrel. Thanks again for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.